I remember a time when loving you felt effortless, like breathing. You were not just a person in my life. You were my routine, my comfort, my safest place. Every morning began with your name in my thoughts, and every night ended with a silent prayer for your happiness. I gave you my time, my patience, my loyalty, things I once believed were priceless. When the world felt heavy, your voice made it lighter. When life felt uncertain, your presence felt like certainty. We were not perfect, but we were real. We argued over small things and laughed at even smaller ones. I listened to your fears, your dreams, your doubts. I stood beside you when you were unsure of yourself, reminding you of your worth even when you forgot it. Loving you meant choosing you every single day, even on the days when it was hard. I never measured love in grand gestures. For me, love was showing up, staying honest, and standing firm when things got complicated. I trusted you completely. That trust was not built overnight. It was formed through shared moments, promises whispered late at night, and silent understandings that needed no words. I believed we were building something strong, something lasting. I ignored the warnings because love can be blind when the heart is too full. The late replies, the distant smiles, the sudden change in your tone. I told myself I was overthinking. I chose faith over fear because I believed in us. I believed that love, when pure, could survive anything. I loved you with everything I had, without holding back. I never imagined that the same love would one day be the reason for my deepest pain. Distance does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it slips in quietly, pretending to be temporary. You began to drift away, not physically, but emotionally. Conversations became shorter, laughter felt forced, and silence started to replace what once felt natural. I noticed, but I stayed quiet. I told myself that love requires patience. You stopped sharing your thoughts the way you used to. Your eyes no longer searched for mine in a crowded room. There was a wall forming between us, brick by brick, moment by moment. I tried to break it by being more understanding, more caring, more present. I believed that if I loved harder, things would return to how they were. But love cannot fix what honesty refuses to protect. I sensed another presence in your life, not a face, not a name, just a feeling that I could not explain. You smiled at your phone in ways you no longer smiled at me. You guarded your world like I no longer belonged in it. When I asked if something was wrong, you said everything was fine. I trusted your words, even when your actions contradicted them. I chose comfort over truth because the truth scared me. I was afraid of losing you, unaware that I was already being left behind. The betrayal did not come as a sudden storm, it came as a slow realization. Love that once felt warm began to feel heavy. I was still giving my all, while you were slowly giving less. And yet, I stayed, hoping you would choose me again. There is a unique kind of loneliness that exists when you are with someone who is no longer truly with you. I felt it every day. I was present, committed, and loyal, yet I felt invisible. I was loving you alone in a relationship meant for two. I realized the painful truth not through confrontation, but through absence. You were no longer emotionally available. Your attention, your care, your effort, these things were being given elsewhere. I did not need details to understand betrayal. Sometimes, emotional abandonment hurts more than any confession ever could. I questioned myself constantly. Was I not enough? Did my love lose its value? I replayed every moment, searching for mistakes that justified your choices. But love should never require someone to shrink themselves just to be chosen. I stayed longer than I should have because walking away felt like giving up. But staying meant slowly losing myself. I was breaking in silence, smiling through pain, and pretending everything was okay while my heart carried the weight of your choices. When you finally admitted that you had chosen a different path, it felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. Not because you left, but because I stayed faithful while you didn't. I gave you everything, and you gave up on us. Letting you go was the hardest decision I ever made, but it was also the most necessary. I learned that love should never cost someone their self-respect. I did not lose you, you lost someone who loved you sincerely. Healing did not happen overnight. Some days were heavier than others. Some memories still hurt. But slowly, I began to understand that your betrayal was not a reflection of my worth. I gave love honestly, and that will always matter. I walked away without hatred because holding on to anger would have kept me tied to the pain. I chose peace. I chose myself. Loving you taught me many things, but losing you taught me the most important lesson of all. Never abandon yourself for someone who chooses not to stay. I loved you with everything I had. And even though you chose to leave me behind, I walked forward, stronger, wiser, and more aware of what true love should feel like.